Welcome back to Nokus Reality, where we bring you the biggest updates and most talked about stories from the world of reality TV, the drama surrounding the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Star Kyle Richards, Mauricio Umansky, and country singer Morgan Wade has reached a whole new level. For years, Kyle and Morgan's incredibly close bond has fueled endless speculation among RHOBH fans, especially following Kyle's separation from her longtime husband, Mauricio. From traveling together and supporting each other publicly to Kyle appearing as Morgan's romantic interest in the Fall in Love with Me music video, every move has kept fans talking. But now, explosive claims are taking the story in an even more dramatic direction. Kyle and Morgan have taken their relationship beyond friendship and are planning a future together. Kyle Richards appeared at a press conference and said in front of everyone, "Morgan Wade and I are planning our future together. Morgan Wade and I are already engaged. We have officially decided to get married on September 15th. Meanwhile, a Reddit user claimed to have spotted Kyle and Morgan leaving an Airbnb in Bozeman, Montana with their luggage, adding even more fuel to the speculation. But where does all of this leave Mauricio Umansky? Reports suggest Kyle's estranged husband has been deeply affected as their marriage continues to unravel. So, are Kyle and Morgan really heading toward marriage, and how is Mauricio dealing with everything happening around him? Welcome back to Nokus Reality. Stay tuned as we break down the claims, rumors, and relationship drama everyone is talking about. To understand the gravity of this upheaval, you have to remember where Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky began. For 27 years, their union stood as the emotional bedrock of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. While other reality TV couples buckled under the scrutiny of national television, Kyle and Mauricio looked to be resilient to it all. Together, they developed an empire, raising 4 children, creating worldwide real estate juggernaut The Agency, and throwing the opulent white parties that characterize Southern California wealth. To fans and co-stars, they were the couple that proved that love could survive Hollywood's roughest edges. But behind locked estate gates, long before the cameras picked up on it, the foundation had begun to shift. The year 2023 delivered an unparalleled tempest of individual pain and emotional isolation. Kyle was mourning the tragic death of her childhood best friend, Lorene, a gut-wrenching event that led to serious soul-searching, absolute sobriety, and a profound reevaluation of her life. Meanwhile, Mauricio's unrelenting timetable building his brokerage was sending both partners off into different orbits. Fast forward to the summer of 2023, and the speculations became reality when it was reported the pair had officially split. Their joint statement was an attempt to reassure worried fans with no bad blood or formal divorce files, but the tension was apparent. They slept in different bedrooms, under the same house, muddling through an excruciating metamorphosis from lovers to guarded co-parents. The impenetrable empire was crumbling in front of us. The sudden emotional vacancy exposed them both, each searching for clarity in a world where every single gaze was examined by millions of watchers. The story of Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade didn't begin at a dazzling Hollywood gala or elite industry party. Instead, it began quietly on a barren mountain highway in 2021. Kyle was driving alone from Utah to Colorado for a film production when he heard Morgan's breakout track, Wilder Days, on the radio. The rough, raspy vocals and uncompromisingly honest words drew Kyle into a rabbit hole right away. For her, it was playing Morgan's whole discography on repeat and feeling raw and authenticity she'd never experienced in the well-manicured world of Beverly Hills. The music inspired Kyle to do something out of character. She pushed follow on Morgan's Instagram and contacted out immediately. The message was puzzling to Morgan, a highly tattooed, straight-talking alternative country artist from Virginia who didn't even watch reality television. "Why is a reality TV star in my inbox?" Morgan wrote back half-jokingly. But it started out as a shared curiosity and rapidly developed into regular talks, late-night phone calls, and a great mutual fascination. The two met for lunch in person in February 2022, documenting their meeting online with the comment, "Kinship knows no boundaries." To the outer world, they were as different as night and day. Kyle was the sophisticated, diamond-wearing matriarch of reality TV, while Morgan was more than 20 years younger, cautious, profoundly artistic, and obviously on her own journey of sobriety and self-discovery. But it was the contrast that gave the impetus. As Kyle subsequently admitted, Morgan lived with total authenticity, no excuses, no apologies, and no superficial pretense whatsoever. Morgan was an emotional release for a lady who had lived her whole adult life under the scrutiny of public expectation, family image, and camera angles. Kyle was experiencing a silent breakdown of her marriage to Mauricio, and Morgan became her main confidant. Before long, Kyle was flying out to go to Morgan's shows, traveling across the country with her, and letting the singer into her inner life. By the end of 2022, fans and Bravo castmates began noting stark, undeniable changes in Kyle Richards. The woman who notoriously dodged needles and body art for decades was now hitting tattoo parlors all over the country with Morgan Wade. Those with keen eyes among the watchers soon noticed matching heart tattoos, identical rings, and even the letter K tattooed on Morgan's arm. Her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills co-stars questioned her on the topic, but Kyle dismissed it with charming grins and playful dodges. Yet, to those who were paying close attention, the lasting physical permanence of the ink said volumes about a deep, secret connection developing behind closed doors. Instead of putting out the fire, the pair made a daring strategic choice in August 2023. They embraced the blaze. Morgan released the official music video for her song, "Fall in Love with Me," with Kyle as her sexy, love-struck boyfriend. The visual story was uninhibited. Kyle sending passionate love letters, wistfully peeking through windows, sharing whipped cream and strawberries, almost kissing Morgan in hot, stylized sequences. Publicly, both women insisted the effort was completely satirical, a cheeky way to troll the internet and reclaim control over the sensationalized narrative. From the electrifying, unmistakable chemistry on television seemed anything from contrived. To millions of viewers, the video didn't feel like satire. It felt like a public soft launch of a hidden truth. The pop cultural mania ignited right away. They wondered why a woman going through the painful separation from her 27-year marriage would lean so hard into LGBT love imagery on a global stage. Although Kyle insisted she was just having a good time and living her own life, the line between lighthearted artistic collaboration and real emotional closeness was rapidly becoming blurred. Kyle and Morgan were no longer just probing the waters. They were fanning the flame, hauling the whole public into an enticing web of supposition and unsaid reality. While Kyle Richards may have been out there openly discovering a whole new world with Morgan Wade, within the Umansky home, the air was growing thick. Seeing his 27-year marriage fall apart under the bright glare of public attention was devastating for Mauricio Umansky. Mauricio, long considered the easygoing, eternally helpful patriarch of Beverly Hills, was suddenly put in an untenable position. How to keep his cool as a titan of luxury real estate when his personal foundation was crumbling in plain sight. Behind the scenes, Kyle and Mauricio's relationship had gone from great affection to a polite, uncomfortable coexistence. For their daughter's sake, they still slept under the same roof in Encino, but the emotional distance increased daily. In unedited scenes aired later in his Netflix series, Buying Beverly Hills, viewers got a glimpse of a side of Mauricio the cameras had never shown. The self-assured and charismatic broker broke down in tears, publicly admitting the crushing despair of trying to rescue a marriage when the other person had already psychologically checked out. As Morgan's sexy music video was released, Mauricio maintained a brave front publicly, leaving supporting fire emojis on social media to keep up the appearance of an amicable breakup. But intimate friends and cast members knew better. Privately, he was shocked at the quickness and ferocity of Kyle's bond with the country artist. Every matching tattoo, every intimate concert appearance, Every cryptic media interview felt like a public undoing of the life they had spent decades building. Mauricio pushed himself into work, took the agency global, and eventually went on Dancing with the Stars to escape the crushing loneliness. But the unvoiced battle was evident. He was watching his long-standing companion completely reinvent herself in a way that seemed to have no room for him. For more than 10 years, Aspen, Colorado was the perfect family haven for Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky. It was their escape from the relentless strain of Hollywood, a magnificent retreat where they spent snowbound winters, held opulent Christmas dinners, and celebrated family milestones. But in the summer of 2023, just weeks after the world knew of their marriage split, Aspen was the setting for a very different, very personal story. Tourists and paparazzi were shocked when Kyle arrived in the Alpine village, not with Mauricio, but arm in arm with Morgan Wade. Eyewitnesses saw the two walking throughout luxury boutiques, looking at jewelry displays, and laughing at peaceful mountain cafes. The public story was that the trip was purely business, and Kyle had joined as an executive producer for a behind-the-scenes documentary following Morgan's music career, health struggles, and sober path. Morgan hit the stage to an incredible performance at Aspen's iconic venue, Belly Up, with Kyle in the crowd, camera in hand, every chord plainly captivating him. But it was obvious to anyone who traveled the streets of Aspen that the relationship was far more than that of a typical producer-customer. Together, they went around the town with an unspoken, protective closeness. While cameras were rolling under the premise of shooting, it was the in-between moments that revealed the true story. Shared quiet looks, in sync schedules, and an undeniable intimacy that made bystanders convinced something more was growing. Aspen was no longer a remote backwater. Sightings expanded from the streets of Paris on European tours to quiet, tucked-away resorts where Kyle could completely lose her Beverly Hills reputation. For Kyle, being with Morgan meant stepping away from the heavy emotional baggage of her collapsing marriage and into a world where she felt truly heard. But these covert trips and public appearances back in LA were sounding off alarms for her Bravo co-stars. The tenuous peace between Kyle Richards and her co-stars was soon shattered when season 13 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills started airing. Kyle had been the ringleader of demanding total openness from everyone else for years, but suddenly the cameras were turned right on her own guarded private life. The tension was there in every scene. The actors saw all the dramatic changes, the extreme weight loss, the total sobriety, the absence of wedding bands, and the most obvious of all, the fact that Morgan Wade was basically always mentioned in Kyle's daily chats. The breaking point came at a dinner that exploded at Sutton Strack's store. Dorit Kemsley and Garcelle Beauvais went off on Sutton, asking her if her marriage had quietly fallen apart months before, and inquiring about the true nature of her relationship with Morgan. Kyle instantly went on the defense, saying her co-stars were projecting their own insecurities and weaponizing her private anguish for reality TV drama. But when Sutton queried why Kyle had traded out her signature multi-carat diamond wedding ring for plain gold bands and a matching tattoo with Morgan, the audience was deathly silent. The behind-the-scenes friction was considerably worse. His castmates believed Kyle was doing a clever deflection, throwing out enough crumbs to satisfy the public, but zealously protecting the real truth about her love life. Confessionals became a site of subtextual warfare. Kyle fought back tears, revealing the lonely truth of an empty marriage, but dismissed the Morgan accusations as innocent companionship, even as Bravo producers purposely spliced in sensual music video footage and cozy social media photographs. It was no longer just documenting Beverly Hills opulence, it had become an emotional courtroom. Kyle was being asked to defend her own personal progress to a sisterhood that felt left out. Pressure was coming from every place: her fellow cast, the production staff, and millions of spectators who wanted answers. But no one knew the answers were being played out far beyond California, in location Bravo camera crews could not get inside. Kyle Richards fled the Southern California spotlight and thousands of miles away from the relentless media storm swirling around Beverly Hills. She didn't jet off to famous European hotspots or tropical celebrity playgrounds. Instead, rumors began to swirl that Kyle and Morgan Wade were headed back to the calm, mountainous vastness of Bozeman, Montana. Bozeman, with its wide pines and snow-capped peaks, had something Los Angeles could never provide: utter obscurity and escape from the crushing scrutiny of reality television. But in an era of social media sleuths, true privacy is very impossible to retain. The rumor started when an anonymous post appeared on a prominent Reddit community dedicated to all things Bravo. One person who saw the pair at a luxury private Airbnb unit in downtown Bozeman said they appeared to be carrying matching weekend bags into an SUV and acting in an unmistakably unguarded way. The sighting said there was no camera crew, no glam squad, no promotional documentary team in sight, just the two of them, going throughout the peaceful mountain village, fully off the grid. Within hours, internet fan communities exploded. Internet sleuths started cross-referencing flight logs, geotagged gym locations, and subtle background scenery in Morgan's tour updates. The Montana vacation contradicted the official story that their time together was governed solely by work commitments and music video promotions. This was a private retreat. It was a place for Kyle to escape the diamond ring and the weight of marriage and the Bravo production calls to live a totally unscripted existence. To supporters, the Bozeman sightings were irrefutable proof that the dynamic had blossomed into an intimate romance. In the tranquil world of Morgan, far from the flashing paparazzi bulbs of Los Angeles, Kyle had discovered a sanctuary. But escape to the mountains was only a momentary refuge. For months, the public was fed cunning deflections and subtle hints and endless guessing games. But the silence, so meticulously contrived, was about to be disturbed in the most spectacular manner imaginable. What followed was no blind item of gossip, no paparazzi snap, no cliffhanger plan for the end of a season. It was a straight-up, irrefutable collision with truth. During a high-profile appearance, Kyle Richards walked in front of the press and did what no one in the Bravo universe expected. She stopped dancing around the truth. The atmosphere in the room suddenly changed as reporters leaned in and cameras flashed frantically. Kyle, looking cool but hard, made the pronouncement that would be the top story in world entertainment news. She had finally had enough of the endless speculation and decided to set the record straight by pouring her heart out, revealing that she and Morgan Wade's relationship had blossomed into a deep and committed bond, and confirming that, yes, they were planning their future together, very much engaged and ready to say, "I do," on September 15th. Within seconds, the media landscape blew up. The statement reverberated far beyond the confines of reality television, dominating social media trends and leading to emergency live streams across pop culture channels. Comment sections were hot, emotional debates. Thousands of supporters rallied behind her to celebrate Kyle's bravery to break free from traditional expectations, to take back her autonomy, and enter into an actual love story. Meanwhile, some could not believe the astounding speed at which Kyle's life had transitioned from a 27-year Beverly Hills marriage to an uncompromising relationship with a country artist. This bombshell redraw the lines between Kyle's public and private life irrevocably. No more sly smiles, mysterious music video cameos, or vague reunion excuses. The story was set, wholly unvarnished and wholly unchangeable. Kyle had picked her route, no matter the criticism or the devastation it would bring to Hollywood. The world was alive with hot opinions and excitement at Kyle's bombshell declaration. But within Mauricio Umansky's world, the truth was a sad, deafening stillness. Mauricio had not seen Kyle simply as his wife for the last 30 years, but as his last anchor, the co-creator of his enterprise, and the essential nucleus of his family. Hearing the final fact of her moving on, openly, forever, and with the wedding bells already on the horizon, was like a shattering blow. Sources close to the real estate magnate tell TMZ he's absolutely heartbroken and really struggling with the hole left in the large Encino mansion they once shared. Mauricio had clung to that fragile hope for months that time apart, personal growth, and their common past would bring them back to each other. He'd weathered the gossip, the co-star interrogations, and the sensational music videos, all while trying to preserve his family's honor. But this declaration was to shut the door forever. The knowledge that the woman he'd loved for much of his adult life was now planning a wedding with someone else was an emotional gut punch that no amount of commercial success or professional distinction could ease. Online, a huge surge of sympathy came out from Mauricio. Many longtime Bravo fans flocked to his social media to show their support and grieve the unfortunate end of what many have long claimed to be the greatest relationship in reality television. But in typical Mauricio style, he declined to go on the attack in the media. The pain was deep, and the wound of such a public betrayal still fresh, but he focused on the feelings of their 4 girls and took the high road, accepting the blow with dignity and silent strength instead of responding with terrible vengeance. The announcement's shockwaves subsided, and everyone involved was left with the arduous challenge of navigating what's next. For Kyle Richards, living her truth out loud was both incredibly freeing and tremendously pressuring. Coming out of a marriage of almost 30 years meant stepping into territory that was totally unknown. She was not merely the icon of a Beverly Hills housewife anymore, she was the author of her own reinvention. Kyle found a life of artistic expression, mutual sobriety, and deep emotional connection in Morgan Wade. But moving a relationship under such great scrutiny, from secret vacations to a full-blown, under-the-globe's eyes partnership in wedding planning, came with its own set of real-world struggles. For the path ahead, Mauricio had to start over, personally and professionally. He threw himself into building his real estate company, focusing on his work and getting closer to his 4 daughters. His long-standing partner's death left an enduring scar, but Mauricio deliberately chose not to engage in acrimonious public confrontations. Instead, he and Kyle made a concerted effort to keep a loving family environment for their kids. They showed that their sexual relationship may have ended, but their bond as parents was rock solid. Ultimately, this chapter in the history of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills became so much more than simply another reality television scandal. It became a truly human story about bereavement, personal growth, and the fortitude to change your fate when everyone expects you to follow the script. Now, looking at everything that unfolded, where do you stand on this unforgettable saga? Do you think Kyle was right to follow her heart and embrace a new beginning with Morgan? Or do you feel Mauricio deserved more closure after 27 years of building an empire together? Was this sudden reinvention inevitable, or did reality television and public pressure push their marriage past the point of no return? Drop your answers and theories in the comments below. I want to read every single perspective. More update. Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade are back in the spotlight, and fans are wondering where their relationship truly stands today. Kyle recently showed her support as Morgan celebrated a major anniversary, while also cheering on her surprising new career move, calling her booked and busy. But now, Morgan has dropped another unexpected announcement, revealing plans to take a little break. So, what's really happening between Kyle and Morgan? Stay tuned as we uncover the latest updates. Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade are still in touch to this day. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member and the country music singer tend to keep their connection out of the spotlight, but Kyle is giving a new insight into their friendship today. Morgan took to her Instagram account on February 26th, where she posted a humorous video with her French bulldog, Chop. In the video, the Wild A Day singer pretends to faint on the floor to see how Chop would behave. But the puppy was not bothered. He stretched out and sat next to his mom as she lay on the ground. In the description of the post, she said, "I faked dying to see if my dog would save me." Kyle then moved to the comments of the post, where she commented on how funny the video was. She wrote, "Chop doesn't care at all," with 3 happy emojis. "Never, ever," Morgan replied. On March 3rd, Morgan also turned to Instagram, where she shared a brand new snapshot of herself in bed with a light therapy face mask on, as Chop hung out with her. Kyle then interacted with the post, making jokes and comments about Chop's personal skincare routine. Chop has already gone to stem cell replacement therapy, the 4-time parent said. Kyle is also an advocate for Morgan's music career, in addition to being Morgan's dog supporter. Morgan posted a video on Instagram on February 24th, sitting down with an acoustic guitar and singing lyrics from an unreleased song. "I keep having this dream where I'm holding your hand. I wake up all alone. I'm drenched in sweat. We're just wasting time. We're just growing old. If you packed your bags, we could hit the road," Morgan sung. Supporting Morgan's new song was Kyle, who took to the comment section of the post, leaving Morgan 3 hands raised emojis. Morgan responded with 2 hands emojis matching the words of her pal. Kyle has been a lifelong lover of Morgan's music and followed her on tour to Europe in March and April 2025. Throughout August, Kyle made appearances on Amazon Live, where she disclosed that she adored Morgan's song, Hardwood Floor, and the music video that came with it. "I love it so much," she acknowledged. "I adore the song Hardwood Floor so much and the music video. I love the music and I adore the video. Just love." Earlier this month, she'd raved about Morgan's latest album, The Party Is Over, Recovered, during an Amazon Live webcast. "Like, the album is so good. There's like a song for every mood," she remarked. "I was listening to it running the other day, and it was Candy from Strangers and The Party Is Over. Those are some fun ones. I like to sing along to those, and they make me want to sprint quicker." Kyle Richards shows Morgan Wade's support as she celebrates a big anniversary. And just like that, 5 years are gone in a blink. And now, Morgan Wade is celebrating the huge 5-year anniversary of her debut album, Reckless. Not only is she basking in the warm glow of her fans' support on the big occasion, but also that of her pal, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards. In March 2026, Morgan took to Instagram to share a post honoring her huge album release way back then. "Happy 5th birthday to my debut record, Reckless," she captioned the image, which featured a video of her reflecting on the 2021 album release. In the video, Morgan acknowledges her followers and says, "This record transformed my life. It's been a tumultuous 5 years." She adds too, "My whole life is different." Kyle enjoyed the post there, and it was a full circle moment on all things Reckless. For Kyle, this album truly bears a unique significance, as it was the song Wilder Days that made Kyle a fan of the artist. "I heard Morgan on the radio. I heard Wilder Days," Kyle remarked before about becoming a fan of Morgan's music back in 2023. "And then I went to all the rest, and I was like, wow, this girl is really blowing me away with her voice and the lyrics. And I looked her up on Instagram and I was like, oh, I don't know, the tattoos and everything. I wasn't anticipating all that. So I went after her, and then I started listening to her music on repeat, and then she DM'd me asking me why I was following her. I didn't anticipate anybody from Beverly Hills, you know? My pals went bonkers," Morgan said at the time. The friends even worked together a few years back. In August 2023, Kyle starred in Morgan's music video for the song Fall in Love with Me. That song appeared on Morgan's 3rd album, Psychopath. The singer also made an appearance on RHOBH Season 13 in the same year. With the Reckless anniversary behind her, Morgan is as busy as ever. She's been in the studio working on new music, spending time with her family, and focusing on her wellness. And let's not forget, she takes every opportunity to provide new peeks at her gorgeous dogs. Of course, Kyle's friendships have always been important to her, and she recently stepped out to support her BFF, Teddy Mellencamp. Kyle Richards celebrates Morgan Wade's unexpected career pivot. Booked and busy. Kyle Richards is celebrating Morgan Wade's next career venture as she steps into the world of acting. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member prefers to keep her friendship with the country music artist out of the public eye, but is now paying tribute to her on social media for a special purpose. Morgan came to Instagram on Tuesday, April 21st, to reveal she had been cast in the upcoming streaming series, Dutton Ranch. Morgan will play the recurring role of Carol, a bartender at the local watering hole in Rio Paloma, Texas, who sees all, according to Deadline. So excited to finally share this, Morgan said in the description to the Instagram image. Proud to be a part of Dutton Ranch and grateful for the opportunity. Can't wait for you all to watch it. Kyle then headed to the post's comments where she cheered on her pal, writing 3 raised hands emoji. Booked and busy, she added with a smiling emoji. Kyle is not only supportive of Morgan's new phase in acting, over the years, she's been very supportive of Morgan's music career too. More recently, Morgan released a video of herself performing an acoustic version of her song, Matches and Metaphors, that Kyle loved on Instagram April 16th. This follows Kyle's support of Morgan's 5-year anniversary of her debut album, Reckless, which includes Matches and Metaphors. In March, Morgan shared a post on Instagram commemorating the anniversary of the album. Happy 5th birthday to my debut record, Reckless, Morgan wrote. This record changed my life, she said in the video. The last 5 years have been a wild ride. Now everything is different for me. Kyle celebrated this huge milestone with another like on the post. Kyle has already been candid about her attraction to Morgan's music. In RHOBH Season 13, Kyle said she first heard Morgan's song, Wilder Days, and then followed her on Instagram and DM'd her. I was first attracted to Morgan by her music, Kyle confessed on RHOBH Season 13, Episode 11. I really related to Morgan's songs because she was just so raw and open and honest and just putting it all out there. And I respect that in people, especially people who have struggled with that, as I have. I like that characteristic in a person. Morgan Wade makes a major career announcement to take a little break. Just like her good buddy Kyle Richards, Morgan Wade is about to make a huge professional change. The country music singer posted the update on November 6th on Instagram, where she said she was grateful for all the love and support she's been getting the last few years. Hi, fellas. I just want to take a minute to talk about a couple of things, she said. 1, thank you. It's been almost 500 shows in the last, I think technically, 3.5 years. Amazing. I have been to a lot of places this little town girl never that she would get to go to. I've done a lot of things, met a lot of people, and I could not have literally done any of that without you guys buying tickets, listening to my music. I'm grateful for that for life, so I just want to say thank you. Morgan, who made her Bravo debut in The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13, informed fans that 2026 would be a huge transition in her career, as she wanted to take a little break from touring and work on some new things. I'm working on a lot of things outside of the music world, she added. There's a lot of things that I haven't had time to do, and I'm gonna go do that and take a bit of a vacation and just experience some life. Morgan didn't get into specifics about those non-music initiatives, other than to say she expects 2026 to look a little different from the prior several years. And Morgan stressed that nothing was set in stone, even as she seemed keen for the shift. I say that now, and who knows then, she replied. I thank each and every one of you. I'm going to perform some more shows. See you there. Included in the caption was Morgan's home for the holiday tour schedule, which includes stops in Lynchburg, Virginia, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Bristol, Tennessee. For more on the shows, see the singer-songwriter's website. Morgan disclosed the professional news around 3 months after releasing her 5th studio album, The Party Is Over Recovered. Kyle gushed about the record during her Amazon live stream on August 7th, stating her favorite tune was Hardwood Floor. It is so beautiful, Kyle said of the piano-driven cut. I mean, it's such a good album. There's a music for every mood. I was listening to it the other day running, and it was Candy from Strangers and Party is Over. Those are fun. I like to sing along with them. And made me want to run faster. Kyle and Morgan originally met a few years ago when he heard her music on a road trip. She detailed their first in-person meeting in a February 2022 Instagram where she joked about stalking the musician until they ultimately met up for lunch. Kyle opened up about the unlikely bond on RHOBH Season 13, Episode 8. She explained how Morgan was different from her other besties. Morgan is 100 totally Morgan. No excuses, no apologies, she said. And there was something very liberating about that for me. I'm a person who's always so worried about everything being so together and perfect, so I honestly was just really taken by that. She also said she and Morgan were on recovery journeys, which gave another layer to their friendship. It's nice to have friends that you have things in common with, she said. We prefer to work out. We don't like to drink alcohol. It's nice to have people around you that think like you. Learn more about Kyle and Morgan's friendship, and if the housewife has any plans to attend Morgan's upcoming concerts, know more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.